What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Panthers Advice. Today, man, the Eagles, Panthers, it was a pretty good game. I saw some bright spots. Unfortunately, we did lose and we lost Brooks, it looks like, for potentially the rest of the season since, excuse me, we're already, 14 weeks in, including the bye week. So, most likely Brooks is done. However, I felt like there was a lot of bright spots, and not necessarily on offense, shockingly. I felt like there was a lot of bright spots on defense. And if I'm not mistaken, that's without Jadeveon Clowney starting as well. I thought we got way more pressure. Hurts, he got off some big runs, which was frustrating to be honest. But at the same time, I felt like this was the most pressure we got against a team all season long. Feels like we're kind of just now starting to figure out this front seven. It's taken us 14 weeks. But it looks like we're just now figuring out the front seven, and maybe DJ won him the whole time was the missing piece, Who got some burn? Barno got some burn. He was in there for quite a few snaps. I believe DJ Johnson did too. The front seven showed me something today. Again, the big runs that happens, but holding Saquon to 124 compared to the other running backs that have gone off, I'm not mad at that, to be honest. So, we get some comments real quick. Why can't Horn get interceptions? I know he left early. The thing with Horn, Panther Gal, what I've noticed, comparing him to a lot of other great elite cornerbacks in the past 5 to 15 years, is Horn's going to play physical as hell. And what I mean by that is he's going to, at the line of scrimmage, he's going to man up. He's going to put hands on the receiver. If that's the case, the QB isn't going to go to that. The other way Horn plays is almost like a safety net, where he's going to play 10 yards off and allow the receiver to catch it underneath and then keep running. He's not one of those Marcus Peters types where he's going to try and bait the quarterback into throwing that and then he's going to pick it off. That's the thing about Horn. He's either going to play super physical or let you catch it 5 yards underneath and then tackle you. That's my take on why he doesn't get picks like other great cornerbacks do. Because if they see him physical on the scrimmage, the QB is not going to go there, right? Ronald said it's hard. It's getting harder to defend XL. Can't use the rookie excuse anymore. You can't, but you almost have to. And here's why I say that. The Panthers, excuse me real quick, the Panthers love to draft kind of hometown Southern guys when it comes to receivers. They like those big guys as receivers, right? Not necessarily the Big 12 or the kind of just speed, skinny, athletic guys. When you drafted XL, you knew what you were getting. It isn't going to happen overnight, Ron. I would like it too. I'd like XL to develop overnight, but I hate to say it, we're going to be in here for the bumpy road. It is what it is, right? When you took XL, you drafted him for his ceiling. Right now, you're going to get him every now and then, but it's going to be a work in progress. It just is. So, it's hard to defend him, but this is what I expect. When they drafted him, I was like, God, it feels like we're going back to that SEC type receiver, right? And it hasn't worked out in Carolina thus far, but, he's got a great ceiling, so I guess we're in for the long road, right? So, I get it. You can't defend him. But, this is what we're in for. It's up to the Panthers now to kind of complete his build, per se. Frustrating, but I don't know how else to put it. It's definitely frustrating because that was 6 from the board. Take that extra point, assuming we make it, right? Go on and take the lead. So, I don't know, man. I get the frustration with XL, I do. But I knew this was going to happen. Right, and I've been saying it all season long. With XL, it's going to be a long road. It's going to be a long road. Panther Gal said, "Don't you think we need pickers?" As far as interceptions, the whole interceptions thing, yes and no. The reason I say that, Panther Gal, is if you look across the NFL, defenses aren't playing the same way they used to play, right? And so when Andy Dalton came in, week 3, week 4, he threw for 300 yards. He was the first quarterback all season. People were shocked. And the reason for that is a lot of defenses now are just dropping everybody back. They're not playing head-to-head anymore, forcing the quarterback to throw it up. No, defenses are playing more of a contain route, so they're dropping their safeties 20, 25 yards back and just keeping everything in front of them. Pretty much what Aburo's been doing all season. So as far as getting interception guys, we don't have that. And the NFL doesn't really have that right now either. You didn't have Cromartie like back in the day, DRC, Champ Bailey. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, right? Just right now, the way defense is playing in the NFL, you're not going to get those picks, right? You're not going to get those interception guys. My take, anyway. Antonio, I believe in XL. This can be frustrating. He's still a good receiver, 100%. Like I said, I knew what we were getting when we drafted him. I like him, but I knew it was going to be a work in progress, which seemed to me kind of fit the mold of this team. You draft Jonathan Brooks, who's going to be a work in progress. You took Trevin Wallace, right? A work in progress per se, just because of his size and kind of where you drafted him at. You drafted a lot of guys who are going to be a work in progress. So you drafted rookies to kind of build them up for the future. Would I like Excel to be a little bit better right now? Yeah, but we're already we're 3-10. I mean, we go to 4-9. It's not going to help me sleep, to be honest. I mean, at this point, I'm just happy to see progress with the whole team, to be honest with you. And said, what up, Panthers advice? Hoping some fast-paced coaching for him to the jugs machine he goes. Here's the thing with that, Quantum. They always talk about the best shape to get in for football shape is kind of playing in the game. You can put them on the jugs all day, right? But in the game, it's just different. It's a different atmosphere. It's a different feeling. You got defenders around you. He's just going to have to play through it. The only thing we can hope to see is basically progress, right? See him get better and better each game. He can practice all day long. You've seen guys who are, I'm sure people who are great practice guys, but when it comes to the game, they're not like that. When the lights come on, can they show out, right? So that's the thing to think about. You better be careful. You better have your safe browsing on if you're gonna Google that. Al said, could that XL drop make the Panthers look more into wide receiver? As far as first round draft, I don't think a first round. I think we desperately need an edge rusher. Desperately need an edge rusher badly. Because even today, we got pressure, but we didn't get a lot from the outside. A lot of it was kind of interior pressure. I think DJ Wanham has paid off a lot. I think in the last 2 or 3 games since he's been back, he's made a name for himself. Now we need to get somebody opposite side of him that can grow with the team, right? You've got Wanham. Wanham's the left side? I think you're going to have to replace Clowney, right? I think Clowney was a 2-year contract, if I'm not mistaken. Let me see. Jadeveon Clowney contract. What was that? Oh, he signed a 4-year contract. Well, I still think he has to go, to be honest with you. But, we can discuss that another day. So, did he really sign a 4-year contract with the Panthers? Let me see. No, it is a 2-year. Okay. I don't know what I was reading earlier. So I think you just got to replace Clowney, right? And then you got a nice little edge. Linebackers is something we'll have to look at too, to be honest. Josie Jewell, he's getting up there. And it depends what kind of linebacking core we're gonna run as far as, do we stay in the 3-4 or 4-3? Do we keep Avero? Does Avero move on? Something else to definitely think about. You're right. Live game action is the only way to truly develop XL. I mean, that's what's frustrating. I mean, in practice, we saw Bryce. Think about this. We saw Bryce Young kill it against the Packers in what do you want to call that? Training camp, off season, right? You saw Bryce Young kill it against Aaron Rodgers. What happened the first game? What happened the second game? It's different when the lights come on and people are playing for real, right? We saw Bryce Young against the Buffalo Bills, that one drive. He looked amazing. Footwork, reads, progression. Everything looked good that first drive against the Bills. But what happened after that, right? Week 1, week 2. It was different. Let's see. Al said, supposed to be picked. I got you. Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know that we need a receiver that bad. I mean, we do, but we don't. I felt like the throws that XL missed, the diving catch and stuff, you don't really need to draft somebody in the first round to do that, right? That wasn't even why we drafted XL. XL was more of a straight line type of guy. I don't know that we want him for the post routes per se. I think you can get a speedster who can make those type of plays, which you can draft in the 3rd, 4th, 5th round, if you ask me. As far as who are they going to draft, I don't know. We also have Devin Tompkins. Devin Tompkins is definitely getting a lot more burn. He did some returns. He was in some plays, a lot of motion. So Tompkins is definitely getting a lot of burn. Tompkins could be that guy as well. Now, if you're asking could they replace XL, it's too early to do that. He still has a lot of upside. He has a lot of speed. He has a lot of size. They just have to try and develop him, to be honest. Panther Gal said, I never played football or had brothers that played. Hey, I appreciate you joining the stream. If you have any questions, let me know. A lot of people in here as well are pretty informed. I mean, we're in a tough drought right now as a Panthers kind of fan base because we're 3-10, but at the same time, I kind of see the bright spots on this team, right? Because if you look at the first 2 weeks, 47-10, 26-3. Later on, 36-10, 38-20, 40-7, all games we lost. In the last 3 games we've lost, 3 to the Chiefs, 3 to the Bucks, and 6 to the Eagles. All right at the very end. All at the very end, and all with a chance to win too. Right? Next week's against Dallas. That'll definitely be interesting. But I felt like we've proved ourselves in a way where we compete with Kansas City. Right? They've lost 1 game. Competed with the Bucks, who are pretty good. Competed with the Eagles. I mean, those are all 3 probably what I'd assume playoff teams, if I'm not mistaken, to be honest with you. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Bills and the Rams are probably the other best teams in the NFL. Other than that, I mean, the Eagles and the Chiefs are 2 of the best teams, and we competed with them to the very end. The team's getting better, right? And that's with Coker out, too. Clowney's out. That's with injuries too. No Derek Brown. I mean, that's what we have to look at too. Is it's frustrating to lose, but imagine we had Coker in. Imagine Clowney was full strength. Imagine we had Derek Brown in. Now you're seeing the possibility of the defense really come alive. Quantum said I was at that training camp versus the Jets, and I saw them shred their defense. They even have me on a camera videoing their practice on the camp. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? They practice is one thing, games another. So the best thing they can do for XL is just to keep putting him out there. I mean, it's frustrating, but again, we're 3-10, I think I said. At this point, it doesn't. At this point, you're basically putting XL in that sink or swim situation. Can he get better week to week? To be honest, that's kind of the situation you're putting him in. Silva, my man, what's going on? What's going on? What do you think about Brooks' injury? Man, that's rough. I think that was his first carry too. His first carry that game, and then he goes down a little jump cut. Oh man, my thoughts. They said it was this. If I'm not mistaken, they said it was the same knee he got injured, or he had the ACL on. That's rough. Yeah, it was his only carry. That's rough. My thoughts are that's not a good sign, right? If he got injured on the same knee that he tore his ACL on, and I think Dave said he was already experiencing pain too, so it's not good. It's not good. But I mean, the season's essentially over. I don't know, man. It's over. We'll have to see what happens there. But this is why we need depth at every position, right? It's frustrating where Raheem's not in. What I do hope to see, though, Silva, is let me double check real quick. But I believe Dylan Johnson's on the practice squad. And Dylan Johnson, he impressed me a lot in the preseason. Now, I know preseason, it's not real as far as defenses calling their schemes and their plays and, you know, the way they're doing that. But Dylan Johnson showed me a lot. And if they bring him up to replace Raheem or Brooks, I'd be interested to see how he does, to be honest with you. go. What else we got? Bryce was nasty, balling, dropping dots. If Excel would have got the ball for touchdown. Yeah, I mean, Bryce is finally comfortable, and you can see he's not riding too high and he's not riding too low. He's sitting right here. He's sitting in that kind of happy median. It's always, damn, I almost had it. All right, got to get it next time. It's a whole different Bryce. He's playing the same, but now he has confidence. Yeah, Bryce, especially in the end zone, running around in there. I mean, that was just that was wild, dude. That was crazy. I messed up play. What happened to Jason? I didn't see it either. I rewatched the game too. I didn't see it. I'll have to see what happened, but I did not. I actually didn't see it either. What's going on, Matthew? What's going on, my guy? How's your day going? Silva said, I would like to see more Raheem, but taking a running back around 2 was not a good move, especially when he was coming off an injury. Silva, I mean, I made a video on this, and everybody, I was cautious too, because I'm like, coming off an ACL tear, second round pick, it seems risky, but Brooks had potential, and I see what Dave wanted to do. Dave wants to be a smash mouth team. You know, Chuba today got 26 carries. So essentially, Silva is Brooks was kind of Dave's dream guy, right? That was his dream running back. Him, Chuba, and a 1-2 punch, perfect. Unfortunately, Brooks gets hurt. Now Dave is like, what do I do? I still think Dylan Johnson could be that guy, to be honest with you. I don't know. I still need to check real quick. Give me a sec, guys, real quick. I need to see who's still on that team. Just want to do a couple more real quick. Let's see. What's going on, Rock? What's going on, my guy? Good to see Richardson. Yeah, the Richardson as well. Everyone did pretty good today. I don't really have any complaints. I mean, if you guys do, let me know. Who did you guys think struggled today? Honestly, I didn't think there was really any bad spots, to be honest with you. I thought that what's his face? Jalen Hurts got off a couple big runs when it was second and deep or third and long or whatever it was. But for the most part, I mean, I didn't have any complaints. I don't think there was any one person who didn't play great. I mean, I guess you could say XL if you wanted to, but other than that, excluding XL, I honestly thought they played pretty good. So it says Dylan Johnson's still in the Panthers, I believe. So I would like to see him potentially get some burn, to be honest with you. Say no to drafting injured players. Yeah, Panther guy. I mean, it seemed like I said, Brooks was Dave's kind of dream guy as a running back, and Dave wants to be a smash mouth team. And so he reached for Brooks. Did it work? I mean, we'll see what happens. Him and XL are just going to have to develop. We'll see what happens there. I wasn't expecting such a close game, to be honest. And we had it too. I mean, we went for it on 4th down. Not that would have changed anything. You know, that whole play got blown up too. Right outside their 20, 30-yard line. We went for it. When we convert that, there's a chance to, I mean, once again, the Panthers had a chance to win. They had a chance to win, right? And just Hurts getting some big runs and then obviously not converting on big plays. It definitely hurts you. A smiling Bryce is a dangerous Bryce. Yeah, it's that confidence. You know, when you see Bryce running around and he's got the touch on the ball, he's got the feel. That's something I've had to kind of peel back on. I've always talked about Bryce opening up his hips, doing this, and a third. Bryce has a natural touch on the ball, right? It's just something you can't teach. So when he's running around, you know, doing whatever he does, and you see him just lob it up there, that's just something that's a natural feel that he has. But he has to have confidence to make that throw. And you see every time that he's smiling, he makes that throw 9 times out of 10. Do you think we pay Horn this offseason? Silva, I'm going to get real with you. Horn probably tackles the most for a DB, probably top 5 than I've seen. Mike Will doesn't like to tackle on the run. And I like Mike Will a lot, especially in the pass game, but Mike Will does not like to tackle. Horn, it comes to his side, he's going to tackle the running back. He's going to tackle the receiver, the quarterback. Other DBs on the team, Mike Will, Dane Jackson. I'm just naming some guys. You see when the running back starts going their way. But I'm just saying. So I like Horn a lot because he actually tackles when the ball carrier is approaching his way. Other guys, I'm just saying when Hurts got the big run, go back and look at the replay. I hate to say it, Mike Will, I like him a lot as a DB, but him and Dane Jackson, when it comes to tackling, not their specialty, to be honest. So, yeah, I would definitely pay Horn. I hope Carolina gets Tez Johnson from Oregon and an X receiver this coming draft. Yeah, Tez is nasty, but I don't know how long Tez is going to last for. Day one, Tez is he's stupid quick. He is stupid quick. Pay him. Matthew said, I would like to see Jatavion Sanders get the ball more. I went back and looked at the stats, and Jatavion Sanders, 0 catches, 1 target. Tommy had 1. I'm actually shocked by that. I didn't realize JT didn't have any catches. It makes sense. There was that one where Bryce kind of tried to hit him deep. It was early, maybe first or second quarter. Excuse me, guys. First or second quarter, Bryce going to do that little touch pass he does. That was the only target he had. That I did not know that. That's a good stuff there, Matthew. I didn't know he only had that 1 target in that first half. Maybe here's my take. Here's my take on this, Matthew. We ran it 26, 27 times if you include Brooks. Maybe they didn't have him in there on those formations. You know. I mean, Bryce still threw it 34 times. I don't know why Sanders didn't get the ball more. Usually Sanders does. Maybe they're just kind of taking their time with him coming back from an injury, which would make sense, to be honest with you. DT had a huge 3rd down catch, too. Yeah, Devin Tompkins, man. He's doing everything. He's doing everything. 1 catch, 1 target. Definitely big play from him. Wish Coker was able to play today. Yeah, me too. Coker is definitely being missed, and you can see he definitely has a spot on this team in Dave's offense, which is good to see. That means he should be around between him and Adam Thielen. I like our 1-2 right there. XL, he's got to get better. He's got to get better. Now, I don't see the Panthers drafting a receiver. What I do see them potentially doing is trading for a number 1 receiver. I think it's definitely in the cards. Who would they give up? That's one other discussion. But I do think it's possible. I don't think they're going to draft a number 1 receiver trying to have him kind of learn the system and everything else in the NFL. I think if they're going to get a receiver, if I had to guess, they're going to draft one. Do you think XL might be the new Mingo if he doesn't turn his... No, because Mingo was a great route runner. So Mingo was an amazing route runner, but you never knew what you were going to get out of Mingo as far as, I won't say effort, more of like his timing. Sometimes Mingo would do like 3 little double moves at the line of scrimmage and then run a slant route. That's going to mess up the timing completely with the quarterback. The quarterback's expecting a double move or maybe not a double move, right? It's all about timing. So in practice, you're supposed to get that, down pat. Mingo, if you see him run his routes, you never know what he's going to do. So whether it was Bryce or was Andy Dalton, neither one of them could get the timing with Mingo. And that's when the Panthers realized it's time to move on from him, because if Bryce can't get to him and Andy Dalton can't get to him, it's not going to work in Carolina. Defense is a problem and kicker. I mean, the defense, they did pretty good, if I'm being honest with you. Against the Eagles, and let me tell you why. Jalen Hurts passing 14 completions, 100 yards. Saquon, 20 carries, 120 yards. We held Saquon, I'll say, under 125. And we held Jalen Hurts under 115 yards passing. You're telling me the defense is a problem? No. I mean, the defense has been a problem all season, but today, holding a quarterback under 100 yards, 110 yards passing on 14 completions, no. I can't let you guys throw the defense under the bus today. We just can't let that happen. Saquon, 20 for 124, you expect that, right? But you did your job. You held Hurts under 110 yards. hey, I'm happy with how the defense did, to be honest with you. Walls needs to step up in the run. You're talking about Rock. Are you talking about Trevin? And that's something I've talked about, Rock, because everybody wants to switch to a 4-3. You switch to a 4-3, you put Trevin as the middle linebacker. He's just a little bit undersized. He needs time. He needs time. So I agree with you, Rock. That's why I'm cautious about going to a 4-3 unless you move Trevin to the outside, to be honest with you. Kenna said, shout out to Josie Jewell. Yeah, he played his butt off. And it's about time. Now, he's had some games, good and bad, in the past, but Josie Jewell was everybody was a havoc today. I have to go back and watch the film and figure out why, but there will definitely be a video on that because, like I said, you held Jalen Hurts under 110 yards passing on 14 completions. And here's the thing, the Eagles had all the receivers. You had A.J. Brown. You had Devontae Smith. You had Jahan Dotson, who I like a lot, if I'm not mistaken, out of Penn State. You had Saquon out of the backfield. A.J., Devontae, Jahan Dotson, three guys who I think could start on the Panthers right now, plus Saquon, and you held them to 110 yards passing? Come on, man. That's huge. That is huge. Those three guys could probably start on the Panthers right now. And we held them to 110 yards passing. Do you think Horn is a top 3 corner? Silva, it just depends, right? It depends on the scheme, right? It depends. Are we talking about just zone? Are we talking about just man, right? You're talking about traveling with the receiver. It depends on all of that, you know. That's my take on that. I can't give you a yes or no for sure. Is Eddie's job in jeopardy? No, I don't think his job is in jeopardy, to be honest with you. He struggled the last 2 games, but he's been good all season long, right? And he was good last season, if I'm not mistaken, too. I don't think his job's in jeopardy. I don't. You know, I think and I was waiting for someone to ask me this question. Now, I want to hear your response to this. Let's say you're the owner of the Ravens. You've seen what Justin Tucker's doing in Baltimore. Would you release him? Let me know. Would you release Justin Tucker? I'm not saying Eddie's on that same kind of level as Tucker, but he's not completely that far under it. So let me know. Would you release Justin Tucker if you were in Baltimore? Need to look at the free agent wide receivers, but I'd say T. Higgins. I'd say T. Higgins too, but I know he's gonna run that bank up. And I don't know that we need somebody that's gonna run the bank up like that. That's gonna halter us at other positions. 8K, all y'all who hated on Bryce, whoever. Oh Lord, shouldn't have listened to Steve Smith. That clown promoted Mingo, and he hated on Jerry Jeudy and Judy, his route running. Jerry Jeudy, oh my God, Jerry Judy's route running is crazy. He was not a problem. I know everyone talks about him in Denver being no. Jeudy was nasty, but let me turn on my notifications real quick. Judy's a beast. And as far as so let's talk about that real quick, AK. I know I'm kind of rambling right now. As far as the Mingo thing, it confused me because Steve Smith said he worked out with Mingo in the offseason. Mingo was coming over, or they were doing camp somewhere together, and there was going to be a whole new Mingo this year. And then all of a sudden, nothing. Absolutely nothing. I'm confused, and then Mingo goes to the Cowboys, and I guess the rest is history, to be honest with you. I hope when Horn gets paid, he doesn't get hurt again. Silva, I agree with you. That was, I guess, I didn't think about that before. As far as paying Horn, taking into the account that he has a bad history of being injured. So I actually forgot about that. I still think you pay him, though, depending on how he kind of finishes this year off. I saw people saying Saquon was going to go for 300 yards and 3 tutties today. Yeah, that's the crazy part. No clowning in, and then kind of look what happened. So I don't know. You had DJ Johnson outside. You had Barno finally getting some reps too. You had a lot of guys that were getting reps. You had LeBron Ray was in there quite a bit too. Ashawn did his thing. Deshaun Williams was doing his thing too. Crumdy was in there a little bit. Cam Gill a little bit. You had guys actually getting pressure. You actually had guys getting pressure today against probably a top 3 offensive line in the league. Top 3 offensive line, and we had our best game as far as the front 7 on defense, right? Saquon, I expected that, right? No Derek Brown in the middle, fine. But we got the most pressure we have all season long, to be honest with you. Stephon, no, Stephon Diggs. No. XL QJ. Oh, man. No, I mean, Frankie, this is I don't know how many people know who Quentin Johnston is in here. Because there's a lot of Chargers fans who felt the same. But here's the thing, Frankie. A lot of Chargers fans felt like from the jump, they hated QJ because all he caught was passes with his body, right? He never used his hands. I don't think XL's that bad, but I can actually kind of see where you're drawing that comparison at, to be honest with you. But that whole Chargers fan base was pissed when they drafted Quentin Johnston. But I think the Carolina fan base was actually happy when they drafted XL. But I don't hate that comparison, to be honest with you. I don't know if someone brought it up yet. No, I mean I don't. Eddie's struggling, but again with the team 3-10, I don't know how much of the problem is him. Right? I think the problem right now is just Derek Brown being out, Brooks getting hurt, and then still, guys, it's all about that timing with the receivers, right? So if you look at who Bryce hit, Adam Thielen, okay, that's his guy. Next is XL. Do we love that? Then you got David Moore. And David Moore lately, he's been struggling. And I hate to bring this up, but even the broadcaster said David Moore on the runaround, on the motion he was on, he's supposed to get out there and block. And he's just kind of sitting there taking his time, not putting his hands on anybody. Just like I pointed out in the Brooks video I did last week about Moore twice not holding the block or not going to pursue the block. So Moore got called out by the commentator on something I did a video last week about Brooks. So if you look at who Bryce is throwing to, Thielen, Legette, Moore, Devin Tompkins, who's doing his thing, I mean, what's his receiving core really like? Let him get another couple of receivers, right? Let XL develop, and then we'll be talking good. Let's see what else we got. John, I appreciate you, my guy. I appreciate you. AK, the Panthers team is on the come up, though. Oh, 100%. I mean, like I said, the crazy part about this comment in general, if you were to tell me that the Panthers play the Eagles, let's go back. We go back to a lot of weeks. But let's go back to week 5 real quick. So we lost to the Bears 36-10 for 1-4. If you were to tell me that the Panthers would lose to the Chiefs by 3, they would lose to the Eagles by 6, and part of it's because we dropped a touchdown with less than 30 seconds left, right? We should have beat the Bucs too. I say there's no way. You're going to tell me Bryce is starting? You're going to tell me Deontay... Here's the thing. You're going to tell me Deontay Johnson isn't on the team anymore. You're going to tell me Bryce is starting, Brooks is going to get hurt, and we're still going to do that? You're going to tell me Jadeveon Clowney isn't going to be playing either? Derek Brown was already out. And we're going to compete with the Chiefs and the Eagles and the Bucs? I mean, shit me. DJ Johnson's begun the run game. 100%, Max, 100%. DJ Johnson just struggles in the pass game. He's a newly, this is what the Panthers have right now. They have a bunch of guys who are just kind of, I won't say new to football because obviously they play college football, but they're guys with they're on the low floor right now with a big ceiling. And DJ Johnson used to be an offensive player, converted his, junior year, sophomore year or something like that to the defensive side of the football for Oregon, played as the edge guy. So DJ Johnson has to develop more of a arsenal playing on that edge, right? And then hopefully we can start to see him more in the pass game too, as far as the pass rush. I got another channel, Silva. But just more of a quarterback kind of breakdown type of stuff. We don't need more defense at the right receiver. Yeah, I don't want that because you look what. So And Matthew, I'm glad you brought this up. What happened when Diggs went to the Texans with C.J. Stroud? How's C.J. Stroud looking now? Right, they got Diggs, they got Joe Mixon. How's C.J. Stroud? I'm actually curious. What are C.J. Stroud's numbers? Let me look. I'm actually curious. I wanted to look this up, and I hadn't yet. What is C.J. Stroud doing? C.J. Stroud last year, he threw... what? C.J. Stroud last year, 23 touchdowns, 5 picks. C.J. Stroud this year, 15 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So C.J. Stroud has almost doubled his interceptions. And we're not even... we still have, 3 or 4 more games left, and he's already almost doubled. He's probably going to hit the same touchdown mark, maybe a couple more. But he's almost doubled his interceptions. And we still have 3 or 4 more games left in the season. But they got Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon, right? It's all about the scheme. It's all about the scheme. And I felt like the last few years before Dave came in, we brought in guys who were they were names, right? They were names. They didn't fit the scheme, but they were names. C.J. Stroud last year, everyone called him, and C.J. Stroud definitely did his thing, don't get me wrong. But they were praising this man. And now look, 15 touchdowns and 9 picks this year. Last year, 23 touchdowns, 5 picks. What changed? I mean, you guys saw their offseason moves. Everyone thought they were going, they were it. So, names can only get you so far. They can only get you so far. Don't hate on Excel, y'all. He's been mostly solid. Today was a bad day. Yeah, AK, like I said before early on, I don't know if you were here for that. When we drafted Excel, I was like, this is going to be a bumpy road. And it's going to be a bumpy road. And this is one of those bumps. We're going to have to get through the bumps. You hate to see it. But when you draft somebody like that, you know what you're getting in that bumpy road. What are your thoughts on Bryce? Okay. Quick caps. Yeah, I think you're new to the stream. Appreciate you tuning in. Thoughts on Bryce? I saw early on he kind of went back. Right, we'll go negative and positive here. Something told me early on or showed me that he wanted to go back to kind of like his hero playing days. And there's a few throws he made before he threw that pick to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, which really wasn't a terrible throw as far as scheme-wise. Something told me he went back to kind of trying to make that play and run to the sideline and kind of throw it deep. Once he threw that pick, though, to C.J. Gardner-Johnson, he locked back in. It's like, okay, mental mistake, lock in. And he never went back to that. Because there was a couple times before that where he would try and roll out and throw a couple stupid plays, right? Or couple stupid passes. I'm like, oh, this isn't good. But once he threw that pick, you saw him locked in. And as far as him as a whole, the way he was running around in the end zone making plays, the touch he has on that ball is something you can't teach, right? You can't teach. It's just like the power that some quarterbacks have, right? The muscle. 6'3", 6'4", 6'5" quarterbacks. You can't teach that. It just comes naturally. Bryce Young, with that pass he has, that touch on the run is just crazy. Definitely improving. And I went back, I talked about his receiving core. XL, Thielen, David Moore. I mean, now don't get me wrong, Adam Thielen is a hell of a receiver who catches everything. But Moore, I don't know where to put Moore. Some weeks he's good, some weeks he's not good. XL, a rocky road. Let Bryce get another receiver. And then I think we're going to be cooking. Did you see Deontay Johnson got suspended with the Ravens? He was so stupid for leaving Carolina. So I don't think he left Carolina. I think Dave and Dan said you're done, right? Dave and Dan don't play around. They cut what's his face from Jacksonville. Like 5 days before week 1. I'm like, what did we just do? Who was the edge guy? And I actually liked him too, but he was like the former number 1 round pick or round 1 pick, and they cut him like 5 days before the season started. Dave and Dan don't play around. If you're not going to fit the scheme of the team, you're gone. Just like they cut TMJ. They're like, TMJ doesn't want to play special teams. You're done. Deontay Johnson doesn't want to try. You're done. And what happened? right? When I said Deontay Johnson doesn't want to try, you're done. What happened in Baltimore? I don't know if you read the report or not. They said he wouldn't go in the game. Was it Bateman got hurt or somebody? Bateman gets hurt. He doesn't want to go in. He's just standing there by the heater. You know, I mean, I said it in the video. And there was a lot of Ravens. There wasn't a lot. There was a few Raven fans who commented on my video who weren't very happy with me. But it is what it is. Solid receiver 2 at worst. I don't hate that. I don't think he's a 1 right now, though. We got to roll with the punches, to be honest. This team completely flipped the script around from literally the laughing stock in the league to playing competent football, keep pounding. Kenneth couldn't have said it better myself. How was Solo traveling to that Panthers-Chiefs game? It was legit. It was legit. Did we draft Mason Graham or Abdul Carter? Carter did his thing against Oregon. Matthew, Carter did his thing. Now, Penn State, we're going to lose, but Carter showed me a lot. Mason Graham, I need to watch film on. I'll actually write that down for me to do this week. But Abdul Carter's a beast. Abdul Carter is a beast. Stuck with the progress this team has made, all I've been asking for. What's going on, Drew? Yeah, Drew, I mean, the progress is just crazy. To think we were losing to remember the Commanders game with Mariota? They didn't even have Jaden Daniels in. It was Marcus Mariota, 18 for 23, 205 yards, 2 tutties. Mariota only had 5 incomplete passes. And we lost 7-40. Woo! And now look. Frankie said, do we consider a wide receiver in this draft? I think you definitely consider one. As far as what you're going to draft, I don't know, right? Because if you look, excluding XL, right, he's going to be on the team, but let's say you got Adam Thielen, you got Coker, who I think are kind of one and the same. You got DT. I guess you're going to have to either, I don't know where you go. I think you definitely draft one, but I don't know. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. If you guys have any thoughts on what kind of receiver to draft, because like I said, you got Coker, you got Thielen, you got Devin Tompkins, you got XL, but I mean, what do you want to see as a number 1 receiver? I don't know, and I don't know where you would get that in. I don't know where you would get that at in the draft, to be honest with you. Who should the Panthers look at wide receiver this season? Let me look at wide receiver free agents. What would it be? 2024, 2025? Let me see. I think it would be 2025, wouldn't it? Yeah, 2025. Let's see. While I look at that, let's go in here. Yeah, Chazon was cut. So yeah, this was the guy, Kenneth. You're correct. They had, was it Caleb? Oh, Caleb on Chazon. They cut like 5 days before the season started. The Panthers don't play around. The Panthers do not play around. All right, let's see if I can find the receivers who are going to be free. According to sporttrack.com, according to them, so if I'm wrong about some of these guys being free agents, blame them. So we got Stephon Diggs, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper. I like Cooper a lot. Chris Godwin, I don't think the Bucs are going to give him up. Deontay Johnson, DeAndre Hopkins, Mike Will. Let's go through this. Nelson Aguilar, Odell, DJ Chark, Zay Jones. I don't hate Zay Jones, to be honest with you. Braxton Berrios, Rondell Moore, Chris Conley. But no one's sticking out on this list. I like Josh Palmer out of the Chargers, but I think he's more of that kind of Coker type, to be honest with you. Nobody's sticking out as a guy who I'm like, okay, that could change the Panthers, to be honest with you. You know, I mean, the top 3 guys are what? Stephon Diggs, who I don't love. T. Higgins, but he's going to require some money. Keenan Allen is just getting a bit older in age. You got Coop, who I like. I just don't know how much he's going to cost. And then you got Cooks, Deontay Johnson, Hopkins. So nobody I'm completely in love with, to be honest with you. KJ Osborne's not terrible. I don't know. Ben, my man, what is going on, my guy? Still look good again, yeah. You still look good, but there were still a lot of bright spots on the team. Still a lot of bright spots. As long as I see development from our young players and they're competitive, I'm good this season. Yeah, Max, that's my thing too. It's a bumpy road. The worst thing, it sucks to lose on a drop like that. We didn't lose on that, right? We didn't convert on the fourth down before. That's the thing. We didn't convert on the fourth down before that drive either, right? 4th and 2, we called a pretty common play, right? Basically, if I'm not mistaken, it was a pick. Bryce Young tried to go to XL. It didn't work, So we can blame Excel for that. But remember, the drive before that, we stalled out on 4th down too. So there was blame to go around everywhere. Let's go. Ben said, don't have to draft a wide receiver. Got to pick up one in free agency. I agree with that. Do you think they keep Thielen? I thought he was free agent. Can they pay him? I don't think Thielen's a free agent yet, to be honest with you. I don't think he is yet. Let me see. Adam Thielen contract. Boom, 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 boom. He's up for. Oh, what is this one for? 4-year. Adam Thielen will be a free agent in 2026, so they still have him for another year, to be honest with you. Drew said, got to address the D-line this year. 100%. You get Derek Brown back. You got DJ Wanham. 2 big pieces right there. I think DJ Wanham has definitely proved himself. Put another piece on that D-line. Get a pass rusher similar to kind of Micah Parsons' build, I think. And we should be cooking. But with that being said, we have to have a lead to allow kind of the pass rush to kind of tee off. Because if we get somebody like a Micah Parsons build, but we're losing, teams are just going to run the ball to that side. So, passes. You talking about, or who are we talking about here, Blake? Let me know who you're talking about real quick. What's the word on Brooks? I haven't heard anything either, Scott. I checked right before I went on to stream. Haven't heard anything yet. Most likely be tomorrow. They said got to get imaging and all that fun stuff. Calvin Ridley would be interesting. Kenneth, I don't hate that. I like Calvin too. I think Calvin's kind of being wasted where he is now. But Calvin Ridley's a hell of a guy. We saw him in Atlanta. He's a hell of a receiver. In Tennessee, they've got so many damn problems. I think he's kind of being wasted over there. Scott, I heard the same thing, but T. Higgins is going to be a lot of money. A lot of money. Blake said none of those. I mean, that's why I'm not in love with any of them either, Blake. I just, I'm kind of just looking at potential, right? Chuba said in the locker room after the game, we're building something special here, and I believe it. What's going on, Ryan? Yeah, I mean, how do you not? You hold Jalen Hurts under 110 yards passing when he's got Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown, Jahan Dotson. The only person they didn't have was Zach Ertz, if I'm not mistaken. That was it. They still had X, Y, and Z receivers. You still had Saquon in the backfield. I mean, and we held them to under 110 yards passing. Woo! And a lot of people, for those of you who play fantasy, a lot of people who play fantasy, this was the last week of the second to last week. So if you had Hurts or A.J. Brown or a Devontae Smith, that might have hurt a little bit. Okay, I'm on board with Bryce, so I expect to see that jersey. But if he can lead game-winning drives against Tampa Bay, Kansas City, and Philly, he's figured it out. And what also means that we have good coaches, right? Something coaches, they don't get enough credit for until the team really starts to win. But you look at Bryce year one. Look at Bryce the first 2 weeks of this year. Now look at him, right? Part of that's him, but part of that's also kind of the crew you build around you. You can see there's certain people, if they have a bunch of yes men around them, you kind of see how they act and how they develop. But you see people with the right people around them, how they grow and how they develop. The coaching staff we have here in Carolina is probably the best it's been in 5 years, 7 years, to be honest with you. So that says a lot. The coaching has to get props right now. They developed this team, and again, I go back to the receiving core we have right now: Thielen, Legette, and DJ Moore, or not DJ Moore, David Moore. DJ Moore would actually fit this team Man, DJ Moore would fit this team really good right now. He would be the perfect number 1 receiver for this team. That's a shame, but we don't want to go back down that road right now. So, yeah, A'Shawn and D Brown, Drew, as you know, that was always the plan. That's why they drafted Derek Brown. Or not why they. That's why they signed A'Shawn Robinson, right? Put him next to Derek Brown. Then you got Clowney on one side, you got Juan on the other side, you got Jewel, you got Shaq in the middle. That was the plan. Unfortunately, didn't quite work out. We got to keep a way to keep Thielen around. Yeah, I mean, the catches he makes the last 3 weeks have just been absolutely unbelievable. I mean, Thielen's just, woo, he's been killing it. Matthew said Dallas Goedert. That's right. They replaced Dallas Goedert with Ertz. Ertz was on the team. Yeah, Dallas Goedert's there now, and he was not in. So, yeah, appreciate the correction, Matthew. Regardless, we have to re-sign Adam and still bring in a receiver 1. I think that it will have to be a free agent. I just don't know who we're going to draft. I don't know who we would get, though, Ben. I don't know any of those guys that are worth that money that are going to change the team, to be honest with you. Frankie said, just ordered my Bryce jersey. I still had, for those of you who were around for that video, predicting Bryce stats. Someone's going to get a Bryce Young jersey. I'm going to have to go back and look at that, who's close right now. But at first, I didn't think anybody was going to get it because he wasn't playing. But someone's going to get it now. I don't know if it's been said yet, but Legette will be okay. We drafted him. What's going on, YB, though? Yeah. YB, I mean, he can be on the jugs, but you just got to get him in playing situation. If he drops it, go to him again. Go to him again, right? We're 3-10. You got it's sink or swim at this point. He drops it, go to him again. Go to him again. Let him figure it out, right? Jugs, he's going to be standing there. He's not getting hit as he catches these things. The Jugs can only do so much. We've got, 3, 4, 5 more weeks? Just put him back out there. Put him back out there time and time again in the situations and let him figure it out mentally. That's the biggest thing, YB, is the Jugs, right? He can catch the ball. XL can catch. That's not the problem. The problem is a mental thing, right? It's mental. That's what he has to figure out. Ben said, I agree, but please look at Tet McMillan. I'm an Arizona fan. I've watched. All right, I'll write him down. Blake. Blake. My fault. 10, Tet McMillan. Okay. Tet McMillan. Arizona fan. I watch every game. 6'5", fast. Maybe is that good? How long is he gonna be around though, Blake? You know, how long is McMillan? Frankie, how long is he going to be around? The Panthers have to go defense probably the first 2 rounds, right? Do you guys think that he will last to the 3rd round? Now, it does most likely having a high draft pick. Would you pick the wide receiver out of Colorado or the best defensive player in college? Where are we at right now? I mean, that's the question, right? Is where are we at right now as far as drafting? And that's the only positive thing about choking this last few weeks. Right now, we're the 3rd worst team. But we're the 3rd worst, but we're also tied. We're tied with the Browns, Jags, Jets, Titans, and Patriots. So we're tied with 5 other teams, and the Raiders and Giants have a worse record. So we could either be drafting the 3rd or around the 9th or 10th, Ryan. It just depends. If the Panthers figure it out, then you have to go back. Oh, man. You've got to go back and look at our schedule. If we competed with the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Bucks, is there a chance we beat the Cowboys without Dak Prescott? No, we got the Cowboys, Cardinals, Bucks, and Falcons left. I don't think it's crazy to say we win 2 out of 4 of those games potentially. To be honest with you, Falcons are struggling in itself too. So, and guys, we talk about bringing in certain names. Think about the Falcons, right? What was it? Was it before the season started or like right after the season started where they brought in all those defensive players, right? They brought in the safety, they brought in the DB, they brought in guys, Kirk Cousins. Falcons, all, favorites. Now look at them. Now look at the Falcons. So names can only get you so far. I mean, I hate to say, but they can only get you so far. Where are the Falcons at right now? Let me see. I mean, they're 6-7. If the Panthers win the games that we should have won, we essentially would have the same record as the Falcons. You know, I hate to say it. Drew said still think we should trade back and stock picks. Drew, it's all going to depend on where we finish. If we finish number 9, number 10, I agree with you. If we finish number 3, it kind of depends. But if we finish behind, I think 5 or 6, then I agree with you there. XO, the rookie's running good routes. It's fast. Just got to shake up those rookie drops. Yeah, all mental. Oh, Ken, I just answered your question on accident. Yeah, I think we can win at least 2-2. You know, we could lose all 4, but I think we could win 2 of those games. Trade back, get more picks. XL apparently needs surgery for one of his hands or wrist. Kristen, if that's the case, I have not heard that. I'll have to do some research on that. I did not know that. It's interesting if that's the case. Matt said he'll be gone in top 8. If you guys wanted... Guys, drafting a receiver... I mean, if he's that nice, I get it, but I just don't think that's the Panthers' priority right now. I don't know. I'm a little confused where you guys were going with that. As long as XL doesn't lose his confidence, he'll be okay. 100%, just like Bryce. McMillan's a legit wide receiver 1. Okay, so I'm confused why we're talking about receivers, and guys, I'm a little confused here. Someone give me some rundown. What did I miss? We're talking about drafting a receiver in the first round. I'm not sure I'm on board with that. I don't know. I would love to have them, but we have to draft. Yeah, I don't. I'm a little confused then. Do we really though? Even though we're proximate. Blake, I don't know, man. I don't know. I believe we can win out, but I hope not. I want us to do exactly what we're doing. Yeah, Ryan, I'm on the same board with you. Travis Hunter to Carolina. Oh, well, we're gonna have to have a separate stream for these draft picks because now I'm all over them. I'm kind of confused where we're going. You guys have kind of thrown me off for a loop, to be honest with you. The whole drafting thing, these players and everything. I feel like I kind of missed something. We're gonna have to have a separate stream just talking about the draft picks, but. I feel like we're the 3rd worst team. We seem to have the most promise as far as a good future compared to all other sucky teams. I mean, I can see where you're coming from with that. Who would you take with the top 1 through 5? An edge rusher, Drew. I think you have to take an edge rusher no matter what. I don't think we have a choice. I mean, you saw it today. You know, we got pressure, but a lot of that was kind of generated pressure, you know, blitzing the A gap or stunning on the outsides. Kind of overloads. We don't have anybody who's going to get pressure one-on-one, right? And that's what we're missing, is getting that pressure one-on-one. And you saw if I'm not mistaken, when Hurts broke off those big runs, a lot of the times it was essentially cover 0, cover 1, man-to-man, which means the DBs all have their back turned. So if Hurts climbs the pocket, steps up, all the DBs' backs are turned, no one's going to see Hurts running, and then he's gone, right? We saw that happen 3 or 4 times at least. Brody said we need defense picks desperately. We got Coker and Legette, only going to get better. Yeah, I agree with that, Brody. I agree. We need defense. Okay, Matthew, I got you. I guess what caught me off guard with the whole TED talk is talking about drafting a receiver. I'm not sure that's where we are, because you got to remember Dave's whole philosophy goes back to Seattle, right? And he said this before, Seattle of what? The Legion of Boom, 2012, 2016 kind of era in there. You had Marshawn in there, and you had Tate. I'm drawing a blank on other receivers, but you just had kind of quick guys. You didn't have that number 1 guy. That's what Dave wanted. That's what Dave wants to get back to, right? Is smash mouth. So getting a number 1 receiver like that doesn't make any sense. When you've got Coker, you've got Thielen, you've got Excel, you're going to draft another receiver. It doesn't really make much sense, to be honest with you. As far as my take, because Dave wants to run a 2 tight end set too, right? So he's got Tremble, he's got JT Sanders. So we're going to have receivers just on the sideline. Not sure I'm kind of on board with all that, but we'll see what happens. Kadarius, no. Frankie, no. Oh, no. You thought Deontay was... No. We need the edge rusher of the future and another defensive tackle. I mean, you've got Ashawn, you got Derek Brown. I just think we need the edge rusher, and then we also need a linebacker. But we got to figure out who the defensive coordinator is going to be. Is it going to be Avero again? Is it not going to be? Keep Tony away. Yes, 100%. You got to keep Tony away. You got to keep him away. Serves me right for taking Saquon Barkley today on DraftKings, but also took Jonathan Brooks too. So I bombed both picks. Oh, yeah, that's rough. That is rough. Who do we have on practice squad to bring in for backup running backs? I wanted to say we still had what's his face, Dylan Johnson. Let me check if I can figure out real quick. Panthers practice squad. Let me see. There was a website that showed you everything. I just don't remember what it was called. Probably should have saved it. I want to say Dylan Johnson, though, is still back there, to be honest with you. Was it this one? I think it was ourlads.com. Let's see. So Dylan Johnson, he's on reserves? Is he hurt? He might be hurt. We got Mike Boone. They did sign Amani Bailey, I think last week, actually. So you got Boone still, you got Amani Bailey, and I guess that's it. I guess Dylan Johnson's on reserves, which I did not know. Miles Sanders on reserves. So I guess you're going to bring up Amani Bailey, who they signed out of TCU, or Mike Boone. Okay. He said he was joking. This was by far the Canales' best game as a signal caller. He was aggressive. 1,000%. Canales, this is what I talked about last week, too. I was like, Eddie missed. Not good, but at the same time, I was kind of happy because it was going to force Dave to go for it on fourth down. Right? That's what I liked a lot. Was okay, let's see what Dave can do on fourth down. You got to be aggressive. Field goals aren't going to win you games majority of the time. You can't just keep kicking field goals. That's what happened against the Chiefs. Can't keep kicking field goals. Right? And you saw Dave, he was aggressive today. I liked it. You're 3-9, 3-10. Take a shot. Mike Boone's next. And Mike Boone did his thing in preseason. Mike Boone's kind of just he reminds me of kind of Marshawn's backup. I think he's on NFL Network too. He's just going to get you your 3 to 4 yards. Eventually he'll break one out, but I don't expect anything crazy from him. But we don't have depth on the D-line. The O-line suffered injuries. Is still playing good. When Derek Brown went down, the defense suffered. The defense suffered because that. Then Shaq got hurt. And then Josie Jewell was hurt. And then Jadeveon Clowney was hurt. Then you threw in Trevin Wallace, right? You threw in Trevin with other guys in the middle linebacking kind of core who weren't really familiar with the scheme. Derek Brown was just the start of it. Once he went down, then everything else went down around him. And yeah, essentially you're right, but everybody else also started getting hurt too. You know what I've been impressed with most about Bryce lately? He's stepping into the pocket and firing darts in the middle. He's came a long way. Yeah, his whole pocket presence, his progressions, his reads, he looks like a different quarterback. Do I think Sanders better than Tremble? I do. If you were to ask me at the beginning of the season, I would say no. But Sanders just has to improve his run blocking, and maybe he doesn't ever. I think Tremble has that on him slightly. But as far as an overall tight end, yeah, Sanders is that guy, and they hit on him huge. That was a huge pick they got because Sanders, the plays he's made already. I mean, you might as well put him at the receiver position, to be honest. Dude's nasty. Tough Brooks with Brooks. Yeah, I mean, tough break for Brooks. Yeah, one carry, and then he gets hurt on that little jump cut he did. It's rough. Definitely rough. Sanders only got one target today. That pissed me off a little bit. Yeah, and that one target was like a touch pass. Again, maybe they were, without seeing the snap count, maybe they're taking it easy. I think it was his first game back, wasn't it? So maybe they're kind of taking it easy, Brody. So I don't know. Let me know your thoughts, guys. I'm probably going to wrap it up in the next few minutes. A lot of videos coming this week. Let me know what you guys want to see. Any edge rushers or other potential players you guys want to see too. I got Bryce Young video, obviously, because he just keeps looking better and better. We're going to talk about XL. We're going to look at him, kind of how he's looked all season long, see if we can kind of find a weakness, a strength on him. Brooks injury, obviously there should be an update tomorrow. And then the defense. What changed with the defense against the Eagles? You know, Saquon, 125, but Jalen Hurts only 110 yards passing. What did the defense do differently, right? Was it the guys who replaced Clowney? What did Josie Jewell do differently? Was it a different game from Ibiro as far as game planning? What changed? Defense will definitely be on this week. So stay tuned for that, guys. Once again, appreciate all the support. Keep pounding, baby. Definitely stay tuned. We'll start to get streams going during the week as the season kind of starts to come to an end. Talking about draft picks more, going over potential guys, whether it's Ted, receiver, or it's Abdul Carter. We'll have a stream set up for that, so I'm not kind of out of the loop and saying things that I don't know what I'm saying. So once again, I appreciate the support from everybody. Stay tuned this week. A lot of videos come in. Appreciate you guys. Take it easy. Have a good night.